Hello and welcome to the Salt Lake City Supercross Headline video. Today, we're going to take a look at the 250 Underdogs who were victorious and Jett's historic rookie win and why. We're going to look at a couple other riders that did fantastic at the race and for the season as well. Now, before I get into that, I did want to give you guys an update. I was talking about that I might do a couple media rounds for Promotocross this summer. Last year, I did 3 of them, Dilla, Budds Creek, and Ironman, and this year I was going to do a couple more, or maybe the full season if possible. Well, I did get confirmed. I have the season pass, so I will be going to all 11 Pro Motocross rounds. Now, I'm pretty nervous. Ever since I got that, the anxiety level is really high. It is pretty stressful. So I got to plan out all those trips and, yeah, fly across the country a few times. Yeah, so it's going to be stressful, but it's going to be awesome. We're going to do some post-race interview videos and some small things, talking to mechanics, talking to riders before the race, their family, whatever I can get done while I'm there as well. So, yeah, we're going to be doing that soon. So keep your eyes peeled for those videos on the channel. All right, let's switch our focus back to this video. So let's start with the 250 class headlines. I wanted to start with my personal favorite rider and my favorite story of the weekend, and that is Tom Vialle winning the championship. He didn't have the best of days. It wasn't a great qualifying for him or a heat race. He barely made it in the main. And in the main, he just kind of rode enough to race safely and just get the title. He had quite a few points left in between as well. So he wasn't just cruising around, not really trying. He was trying enough to have enough points gap in between him and Deegan. I'm sure he knew Deegan was winning, so he probably kicked it up a notch. So, yeah, Vialle. Now, a lot of people are overlooking this and saying, like, oh, whatever, not that impressive, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's his second year in the United States. His second year racing Supercross. Like, last year, he really didn't have any time on the Supercross track. So he's really only got a year under his belt on Supercross. And not only does he have, like, no time on Supercross, and he's behind everybody in the class, he DNF'd round 1 in Detroit. A lot of people forget that. He DNF'd round 1 in Detroit. And Deegan rode around the track, flipping him off every single lap because he blamed it on him, and come to find out it wasn't his fault. But, yeah, remember that. Deegan cruised around the track, fought hard, got some points, and Vialle was off the track DNF'd. And he came back, remained consistent, all these podiums, got some wins. He was there just enough for McAdoo to crash out. Now he's got the points lead, and he's got quite a gap over Deegan. He just put himself in the right place every single weekend, remained consistent, and that's how you win championships. I'm assuming his championship history in MX2, both titles he got there in 2020 and in 2022, I'm sure those had something to play in this championship title. He knows how to play the game. He knows how to just remain consistent, don't ride over your head, stay off the ground, and that's what he did this year. So, Tom Vialle, incredible ride, man. I'm pumped for you. And I think this is going to carry into outdoors. Like Sexton mentioned, they are figuring stuff out with the KTM bikes, and they are better. You can clearly see that out of Sexton's ride, which we'll talk about in a minute, and Vialle's riding as of late. So I think they're going to carry this into outdoors, and Vialle's going to do incredible. I'm hoping for it, and yeah, Vialle, incredible riding this year, man, incredible. All right, before we move on, you can head to my website, themxnetwork.shop. Links in the description. There you will find all of my magazines, the latest issue, and past issues available on there. Even some of them are on discount. I don't know what the discount is right now. I think half off. But you can find that. And I have a new addition to my magazine, part of my website and my business. We now have digital magazines. So if you don't want to spend the money to get a physical copy and pay for shipping and all that garbage, then now you can just get it immediately for only $3.99, a digital copy. You will get that immediately instead of having to wait for shipping and all that stuff. So if you want to support me, but you don't want to spend all the money on all that, I have a cheaper option for you now. My digital magazine is also available on themxnetwork.com. Just click the mag and then click digital copy and you can get it there. Now let's look at the second 250 class champ, another underdog for this season, RJ at Hampshire. It was an incredible day for him. I personally was leaning towards Kitchen for the title. I just didn't think RJ would have it in him to hold up under the pressure, just considering what he's done in the past. Pressure hurts him, and he usually falls under it, rides really over his head, makes mistakes, but boy, oh boy, was I wrong this weekend. He pulled through, looked solid the whole time, not many mistakes. It was a really different RJ we were looking at. Not only did he get a great start, not only was he like not riding over his head, he looked smooth. He had great speed, and he even caught up to the back tire of Deegan. You could see at the finish line. He was like a couple bike lengths behind Deegan. So he was riding really good. That was incredible. He did everything he needed to. Obviously, Kitchen got a poor start, and he was catching up to him, but it wasn't enough. Hampshire was gone. So, incredible riding. He was definitely the underdog because all over the internet there were polls. Zach Osborne does a poll every day on Twitter, and they said, oh, Kitchen or Hampshire, who's going to win? And I'm pretty sure almost every single time it was like 70-30, 80-20 for Kitchen. It was never leaning in Hampshire's way. So, he proved us all wrong. He did great. He finally got that championship under his belt, and hopefully he can carry that into outdoors. It wouldn't surprise me if he had that confidence and did really good this summer because we know he can ride good. I think he just needs the confidence and to know that he doesn't need to ride over his head to win things. So good on him, and we're going to see what he's got this summer. All right, final 252. Wow, I can't talk today. I try to talk too fast, man. Final 250 story of the day. Julien Beaumer. He got Rookie of the Year, man. Kind of a under-the-radar season for him. He was really consistent besides a couple oddball finishes. This weekend, he was doing pretty good until a rider went backwards on the track. I think he went off to the other side of the track and hit him. So he was knocked out of the race. He finished 22nd, but he said he was fine, no injuries. So besides the 22nd place finish, his only other really bad finish was San Diego. And he did have an 11th in San Francisco. But other than that, it was all under top 10. 6th in Anaheim. 7th, 9th, 10th. And that's pretty consistent, man. He ended up being 7th overall, which is pretty good for a guy who's barely pro. Like, he was amateur 2 years ago. Then last year, futures, and now battling up in the top 10 every single weekend on a new team. An incredible deal. I think he did great this year. A lot of people were talking smack about him and saying how it wasn't that good, but seriously, compare him to any other rookie and tell me how he fares against him. I can't think of another rookie that did better than him except for the Lawrence brothers. Like, they did pretty good. They were consistent, but not many other guys did that good in their first year straight out of amateurs like he did. So good on Julien. All right, on to 450. Sexton. Incredible win. It was a fast day for him all day. He was fast. No mistakes. Just straight up won the race. His best ride of the year, in my opinion. He did have another win, but it was in the mud, so whatever. But this one, he was out front early, doing great, fast laps, no mistakes, no tuck in the front end. So great form from him, and hopefully he carries that into pro motocross. He did mention before the race that they were making bike changes and leaning towards a more stock version of the KTM, which kind of ticked off Webb because Webb was telling them that for years, and they wouldn't listen to him. So yeah. Anyway, Sexton, incredible job, incredible win. I'm glad to see it. He was just up and down all season, not really the Sexton we knew. So I'm glad to see him finally get it under control and look like the classic Sexton we know. Hopefully he carries that into outdoors. Let's now look at the main story of the weekend. We're going to start with Cooper Webb, that side of the championship battle. He did all he could. I mean, he tore his UCL. They said, before I thought it was partially torn. Turns out it was fully torn. So the web inside his finger, completely torn. So his thumb, he could barely hold on at all. I don't know how he did as good as he did, but he finished third place with that hand injury, so that was pretty impressive. You know, there's not much more he could do. Jett had a huge points lead over him, so he really couldn't do anything. He would have had to win, and Jett would have had to be basically knocked out of the race in order for Webb to get it. So third place at the end of the season with that injury, just riding it to the end. Pretty incredible for Webb. I mean, he went from not even close to being a title contender to tied with Jett and kind of taking this to the last couple races. So good on Webb. Glad to see it. Now let's talk about Jett, the one who was victorious. Jett was incredibly conservative all day. He only made one or two very minor mistakes, but he just rode his race, got to the finish line with a lot of points to spare. That makes him the third rider to win a 450 rookie season besides the other two are Jeremy McGrath and Ryan Dungey. So those are pretty good guys to be lined up next to in the history books, I guess. Other than that, another cool fact from this championship for him, he is the first guy to win the title and Anaheim won since 2012, which the last guy to do that was Ryan Villapoto. So Again, incredible ride this year from Jett. He did make a lot of rookie mistakes, but he still won pretty easily, in my opinion. Like, it didn't really, if he didn't get the penalty and have a couple of those small mistakes, it would have been gone. Like, there would not have been even a battle if he didn't have those. So next year, it's going to be very tough for these guys. Webb and Sexton and all those guys are going to have to really work hard to see if they can even compete with him next year. But yeah, Jett Lawrence, rookie champion, incredible job from him, and now we get to see him defend his undefeated season in pro motocross. So let's see what he's got this summer. All right, guys, there you have it. Those are the headlines from Salt Lake City Supercross. This ends the Supercross season, and we're now heading into pro motocross, like I said. Let me know what you guys think about those headline stories. Who was your favorite champion this year? How do you feel about the underdogs being victorious? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to support my sponsor, Blood Lubricants, and don't forget to head to my website and buy a physical or digital magazine. It's up to you. The support is appreciated. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next headline video. Thank you.